Hello everyone. This lesson's topic is about the career ladder. In business and human resources management, the career ladder typically describes the progression from entry-level position to higher levels of pay, skills, responsibilities, or authority. The traditional career ladder allows employees to be promoted, but sometimes companies resort to reorganizing and restructuring the career ladder in order to increase productivity and job efficiency. And that's what we are going to discuss in this lesson. A job for life. Many people used to work for the same organizations until they reached retirement. And of course, you know that retirement is the age at which people retire, which is in most cases the age of 60, or end the working life. Career paths were clear. They could work your way up the career ladder, getting promotion to jobs that were more senior. Okay, let's stop here. First of all, a career path is a career track, your way, how you design your career in the future. And there is a shift that took place between career paths in the past and nowadays. In the past, career paths were clear. You work and you get promoted until you reach retirement and then you retire. Nowadays, the case has differed greatly, and that's going to be mentioned later. You could work your way up the career ladder. Work your way up the career ladder is another way to say develop in the job or get promoted. Getting promotion to jobs that were more senior. Senior means higher in rank, and the opposite is junior. A senior job, the opposite is a junior job with greater responsibility. You would probably not be demoted. Demoted is means moved to a less senior job. So pay attention here. The word promote, the opposite is demote. And promote means that you become more senior. And senior, as we said, means higher in rank. To leave the company, you could resign or hand in your notice. Resign is another word for hand in your notice, okay? And this means quit the job or leave the job, okay? And in other words, it means handing in your resignation. Okay, so now this is the traditional way of looking at career paths, that a person starts the job, gets promoted, and he or she retires at the age of 60. Nowadays, the attitude towards career path differed on two levels. First, it differed on the kind of job contract. Some jobs nowadays require temporary contracts, not permanent contracts. And therefore, some jobs have become part-time, not full-time jobs. This is one way of offering a different view of career path. The second way is the downsize or the delabor that took place in some companies. Some companies, and this case happened throughout the world, decided to reorganize or restructure their companies by doing two important techniques. Number one, downsizing. Number two, delayering. Downsize means reduce the number of workers or reduce the number of employees in the company. And delayer means reduce the number of layers of management. Okay, let us explain this further. The number of management levels in the company hierarchy has been reduced to 5 to 3, and many managers have lost their jobs. We're discussing here the case of Modco company. The company has downsized and delayered. How did the company do that? They did that through decreasing the number of employees and decreasing the management levels. Modco has reorganized and restructured in order to become flatter with fewer layers of management and leaner with fewer more productive employees. Okay, so two important terms: downsize and delayer. Downsize means decreasing the number of employees, and we have here an example, a famous example of HSBC Bank. In 2011, they laid off 5,000 people to downsize the company. And delayer means reduce the management level. For example, if the management levels include regional manager, area manager, shop manager, supervisor, shop staff, companies delayer this by removing the area management and the supervisor. So the management levels become regional manager, shop manager, and shop staff. Okay, so delayer the management levels means reduce it. And we have a famous example here with the BBC. Of course, this is a very famous television company. They cut more than 1,000 jobs to reduce costs in 2015. They reduced the levels from 10 to 7. So now we're talking about something that takes place internationally: downsizing and delaying. And then again, we have two more techniques: flatter, okay, when the company becomes flatter, okay, with few layers of management. So when we apply delayering, the company becomes flatter. And when we apply downsizing, the production becomes leaner. Leaner means having fewer but more productive employees. This is a picture or a photo that illustrates the downsize, reducing the number of employees. And this is a photo that shows delayering. As you can see in the pyramid before, we have regional manager, area manager, shop manager, supervisor, and shop staff. After delayering, they removed 2 levels. Regional and the levels of management become 3 instead of 5. We have regional manager, shop manager, and shop staff. Again, this structure shows Modco before and after. Before restructuring and reorganization, Modco had 5 levels of management. 5 levels of management. In this picture, there are only 3 levels of management, where 2 levels are removed in a process of delayering. And with the process of delayering, downsizing also occurred. The main question now that arouses in our minds is, why does a company apply delayering and downsizing? For a very important reason. Number 1, to reduce costs, and number 2, to increase efficiency and profits. Okay, employees said that the company used words like restructure to make the situation sound positive. Of course, the word positive means progressive and acceptable. Of course, the company, in order to convince people that they are going to reduce the number of employees, and reducing the number of employees means that some people are losing their jobs, and others are going to have more workload. So in order to convince people of the current situation, what did they do? They said that we are restructuring the company, okay? And that would make the situation sound positive and acceptable. Moving on to a very important point, in-house staff or freelancer. In-house staff means the people who are working in the company permanently, and freelancers are part-timers. Modco has outsourced many jobs previously, done by in-house personnel. Outsource means subcontract. Give to an outside entity. Some jobs that used to be done in-house are now outsourced, given to an outside entity to do it. Okay? And the word personnel means employees. Outside companies clean the offices, transport goods, and collect money from the customers. So when the company has so many jobs to do, in order to decrease the jobs, okay, and focus on the main important activities, the company can outsource many unimportant jobs, like for example security, cleaning, IT maintenance, transportation. Okay, they can give these unimportant jobs to outside companies that can perform them efficiently and more quickly. This allows Modco to concentrate on its main business activities. Modco uses more freelancers, independent people. Okay, what are freelancers? Independent people who may work for several different companies, and they employ people for short periods on temporary contracts. So, a permanent contract is opposite to a temporary contract. A person who works in-house is opposite to the person who is a freelancer or a part-timer. Modco expects flexibility with people moving to different jobs when necessary, but for many employees, this means job insecurity. Flexibility means easily moving from one job to the other. So the trend nowadays is moving towards moving from one job to the other. People trying to change their career by moving to maybe a more better job opportunity. This is the trend nowadays, and Modco as a company is trying to apply this and is trying to introduce the theme of flexibility among its employees. If you find a better job, maybe you would go for it. Okay, it's not any more fashionable to choose a job and stick to it until you retire. But for some people, as we said before, the idea of change is difficult to accept, and this for them means insecurity, job insecurity. The feeling that they may not be in their job for long. The way that they were doing their job is discussed at performance reviews. A very important point here, the word performance reviews. What is a performance review? It is a regular meeting with the manager. In this meeting, the manager tells you about your performance in the job, what you did in a good way and what you missed. This is called performance review. A performance review is a very important term you should all know. A performance review is a meeting, and this happens regularly with the manager to discuss your performance in the job. Okay, moving on to losing your job. This part is divided into two parts. If you do something wrong, you are dismissed, fired, sacked, or terminated. These are all synonyms and equivalent in meaning. If you have done nothing wrong, you are laid off, made redundant, or offered early retirement. يعني what do we mean by the word if you have done nothing wrong? For example, if the company is delaying or downsizing the company, okay, in a method of restructuring, you have done nothing wrong, but the company decided that you don't have a job, so they lay you off or make you redundant or offer early retirement. Okay. Another important term like performance review is outplacement advice. Employees who are made redundant may get advice about finding another job, retraining, and so on. This is called outplacement advice. An outplacement advice is a way to compensate people who are made redundant. They are given advice about finding another job or retraining. And guys, remember that the word advice is uncountable, okay? It always comes in this form, advice. Okay, that's it for the lesson. Let's have a look at the questions. The first type of questions asks you to find derivatives of the following words. For example, we have retire as a verb and they ask you to give the noun. Restructure, reorganize, downsize, delayer. Pay attention to production becomes leaner, production becomes flatter. Pay attention to all these terms and words. Thank you so much and good luck.